Hey, hello there, beautiful people. I am just now noticing my battery on this camera is quite low, so we will see how that goes. But here I am checking in from the alignment program. It's day 36. I know that in the last video I said I wouldn't be doing videos every day anymore, and that felt really aligned for sure because I just honestly couldn't keep up with it. And but I can't believe that it is already day 36, if I counted that right, 36 of 45, and so much has gone on in the time in between from even like the last recording to now. But at this point in the program is when I would be reflecting on who I was at the start of this. And I think to that, and it kind of makes me laugh because I'm remembering when I like first set up the camera and hit record, I was so nervous. Actually, even before doing that, I was already so nervous. I had notes. So go back to the beginning videos. Some of them have my little notebook with notes because as I say in those videos, like I would get so nervous that I would kind of forget the points that I wanted to get across. And then afterwards I would ruminate on it like, oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. And to get to today where I just literally, I kind of have a routine. Put up the tripod, I connect the camera, I put in the microphone, I make sure it's set. I usually do look at if I'm charged and ready to go, but part of me was going to do that today, but I was like, no, that's just going to stall me from recording. And I wanted to record it now as opposed to later, just with how my schedule is. And I wanted to record here. I feel like I'm so far back. Hold on, let me see. Let me move forward. There we go. I think that's a little better. Anyway, yeah, so to be where I am, where I'm like just popping on, no notebook, nothing. And I think back to, now that I can reflect back, and I don't know if you all are this way, but I tend to learn in reflecting back. Not in a way that lives in the past, but it's like, okay, I understand. Like when I'm in it, right? So I realized how this program has helped me so far is I didn't realize how much I was carrying at the time. Like I had just come off of holding space for another alignment program round, a one-on-one 4-week session basically called Still Point, where I work with you one-on-one for the span of 4 weeks, and we do some deep diving. And also navigating, learning like a new way of being and doing things and, being of service in this world. And I didn't realize how much I was carrying until all of that and the time in between now where I was like, oh, okay, I get it. All of these pillars that I have been giving attention to every day. So the mind, the body, the heart, and the spirit essentially is cleaning up my side of the street, so that I'm not just like spilling my tension and worries and thoughts and feelings everywhere, which I mean, I wasn't. I was actually holding on to it really. So it really helped me see that. And so I feel like I am in a much clearer, grounded space. Are things still a little bit like, unstable? Yeah, probably. But I'm able to navigate it in a clearer way. Like I am more 10 toes down even than I was before. And also at this point, I start reflecting on the end of this, which is, what did I say? Today's day 36. So there's 9 more days left, and kind of who I am at the end of these next 9 days. And I feel like she is very clear. She is very much more rooted in her energy, and that there was a lot that she got to let go of and to move forward into this next season of her life. Like it's going to be with so much rootedness. I feel like I'm saying the same words, but it's kind of where I am. So some of the things that I've learned in this time in between is I've been fucking around on Substack. So I don't know if I'm ready to release it to you all, but I've been playing around on Substack. And what I realize in moving my thoughts into form in words through typing or writing or whatever that is, moving my thoughts to something a little bit more concrete, a little bit more material has been interesting because I realize a lot of times I don't have words or the full materialization of it hasn't happened because it's so much in my floating around in the ether, in the sphere that is of the mind, right? And I was like, oh, that's so interesting for me to witness and observe because I didn't know that. I just felt like, okay, I know my inner landscape. I know all of my thoughts. I know the feelings. But to translate it outside of me has been a very interesting experience that this has helped me like see. So that's been really cool. What else has gone on? Physically, I'm working out every day. It's been pretty good. I also am grateful for the program that I follow, my workout program that I follow. It's Street Parking Garage. I'm not getting any credit or anything for mentioning it, but it's what I've been following for quite a few years. It's what I keep going back to, which is so funny because I had a whole season of like trying out a bunch of different things, and I was like doing home Pilates, I was doing yoga, I was doing just playing with all these other programs, right? Because there's a lot of things that talk about how like women, you know, in our older years, we're supposed to be doing like different things or whatever, and it's not supposed to be like high intensity all the time. And that was great. I loved getting to explore. I loved trying new things in that way. And that season served for what it needed to be in that, like, I think in those years I really needed something that was going to support my nervous system because let me just say the last few years have been stressful, right? Like I have felt a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. And I believe that my body was experiencing high cortisol. I believe that is part of the reason why I like had gained weight in the last few years and all of that said. Like, so I believe in the timing of everything. I'm not changing any of that. But I heard somewhere, I want to say it was TikTok, that like you should work out based off of your Mars sign. And my Mars is in Aries. And Aries is fiery, Aries is bold. It is more like hit style. It is more like intense in that way. And that made sense why I always come back to Street Parking Garage because it is CrossFit style, functional fitness. It's, you know, their thing is consistency. So just even if it's doing 10 minutes a day is better than doing nothing, right? Or 5 minutes is better than nothing. And so yeah, and it's not hardcore CrossFit. I think there are aspects of it that can be, but it's not like super hardcore. And on a practicality aspect, I've found that I am quite practical in this aspect where like these movements translate into my daily life. Like I'm getting stronger to be able to do things in my daily life. And so some of the other workouts, I'm like, okay, well, this is cute, so that I can look cute, you know, but it didn't have a lasting moment in that, like, okay, cool. Like I can apply this practically. So anyway, that gave me permission to like, okay, release having to do the Pilates, release having to do all those things. Like if the program that you're following is the one that's like calling to you, then just fucking do it. And I've honestly had to say, like, I've been most consistent with that. With the other one, I would like kind of like float around and teeter around, even though there were programming schedules that they had. So that's been really great. I had an interesting moment where my right knee was doing kind of funny things when I was walking. And if it, like, so I do have I don't want to call it a pain, but there is something that exists in my left knee that I'm like, okay, cool. Like I know that I can't run long distances for a long time. I can't sprint really hard, which is totally fine. But my right knee was doing something funny. And I learned recently your knees or anything doing with your legs is about obviously movement, right? And then your left side is your past, and then your right side is what's current, which is interesting because in the past, when I've learned about the energetics of the body, like the left side is considered the feminine side, and the right side is considered the masculine side. That could be a whole nother topic, another time to have a conversation about. But when I learned recently or heard recently that the left side is your past and the right side is the present, I was like, oh, okay, that gave me a different perspective to sit with that and look at that. Like, okay, what in my life right now am I afraid of moving forward on, or is holding me back from moving forward? Like, what is this about movement and in my present life now? And I was like, oh man, okay, what am I really afraid of? So that's been really interesting. I would say it's still aspects of visibility, but not entirely, because I'm able to like pull up this camera, turn it on, hit record, load it up to, you know, the interwebs, and it's fine. I'm able to just bless and release. So I feel like as that part is beginning to fade, that it is visibility, it might be more so in that fully letting myself step into the current way of being that I feel called to. And I know that's so fucking general to say, but I do believe in some sense of privacy of what I'm moving through until it's like fully formed. So I hope you can respect that. So that was very interesting. So I share that as in if there is anything going on in your body that may be out of the norm, that could be something to look at. So yeah. And let's see, what else? I will say the spirit pillar has like stood out the most on this round of the alignment program, because I am realizing with this theme of cleaning up your side of the street, I'm realizing as like my energy field is expanding and my way of service and being is expanding, it's almost like I don't have a really good analogy that's coming to mind, but like the bigger it's expanding, the more devoted and diligent I must be in cleaning up my side of the street, maintaining the street. And then that is in terms of like looking at the barriers and boundaries and filters that surround me. Like what am I allowing in and what am I not allowing in, and what can be transmuted. So this is another one that is an experience that is internal for me, that hasn't fully formed to be verbalized very clearly. So if this is not like making any sense to you, like we're just going to have to wait for when it does, and I'll make a post or a video about it. Or maybe I can talk clearer or speak clearer about it by, you know, probably the next time I record will probably be the last day. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, so it's a really bigger emphasis on like cleaning up your side of the street. And so that's been really clear to me on this round of doing the alignment. So yeah, I think this will be good here. This is wonderful. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do, share this. I don't know. I send my love to you, and I look forward to tapping back in at the end of this program. So see you next time. Toodles.